Are you at your point where you think you've hit your bottom, or maybe that there's just no way you're ever going to feel like things can change? I was like that. I really was. And I want you to know, my name is Bromo, by the way. I want you to know that there is a way out. Please join us for my podcasts.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
All right, look at that. It is New Year's Eve, and I was trying to squeeze one more podcast in before the brand new year kicks in. This will be podcast number 29. Pretty excited about it. There is a way out. Once again, I always say this. I hope you don't get tired of me saying this. I am not an expert by any means. I've given my story out, and I've had people on, and what I'm trying to do through this outlet, through this forum, I guess you would call it, is anybody who may be on the fence wondering if they drink too much or if they have any family members and like that, maybe some of these segments can help them see from different points of view. That's all. Again, I am not an expert. I'm almost 11 years sober should I get there. But as everybody knows, you take it one day at a time. Pretty excited about this segment. Sitting around about a half hour ago, really wanting to do another podcast before the end of the year. Couldn't think of anything until I got my sister on the phone. My sister's name is Carrie. She is 10 years older than I am. And,
Not.
Not.
Yeah, not.
She's calling from way out there in Beantown, Boston, Marshfield, Massachusetts. What is that, about 40 miles outside of Boston?
Something like that, yep.
Something like that. She is my sister. She's a year younger than me. I've wanted to put her on since I began with this podcast, but I couldn't figure out how to, and she helped me with our phone conversation about a half hour ago with a perfect topic, and I'll get into that a second ago. My sister now had to go through the trials and tribulations of watching her brother's life spiral downhill into a cesspool of hell. Do you remember that phone call, Carrie, when I was in Mission Beach, San Diego, about ready to, I think, go get help, and you had said to me, quote, "You're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your car, you cannot drink again." Do you remember telling me that?
Yeah.
That's okay. Don't be. Yeah, I remember telling me that, right?
I do. Yeah.
How are you feeling at that point? Because you were pretty pissed off at me because I had just, once again, after all the sea of lies, I had relapsed, and the cat was out, so to speak, whatever the hell that means. The cat was out of the bag, and everybody knew I had relapsed, and Carrie called me on the phone. Do you remember that conversation?
Yes. And it was tough because we lived so far apart. So for the longest time, I believed everything you told me. So I was mad at other people for telling you that you had a problem. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
But I was like, oh, that's ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. So I was completely on your side.
And by the way, I was hoping that you would have, that you would be that way, because I always fell back on that crutch. But go ahead.
But then I started going through it in my own personal life, living with an alcoholic and watching what was going on firsthand, living with an alcoholic. So that's when I remember I was actually on the phone with you, pulling into the grocery store, and I'll never forget saying, "You're going to lose," because I had just said that to my husband at the time. "You're going to lose everything that you love," and I said that to you, and you did not want to hear that. You did not want to hear that.
Real quick, everybody's going to want to know this. What'd you buy at the store that day? Just kidding.
Oh, just basics: bread,
it's
milk,
stupid.
blah, 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 blah. I had small children at the time. Yep.
That was a stupid question. As you know, that's my
No.
That is my failure of humor, and you've known that ever since you've lived with me as my sister. Getting back to what you said, yes, I was extremely pissed at you. I was like, listen, go ahead there, Miss Dramatic. Go ahead, tell me I'm going to lose this, lose that. I'm going to lose my left knee. I'm going to lose all my shoes. I'm going to lose my car. And I was mad because you said to me, quote, you can't ever drink again. You can't ever drink again. You remember?
I barely remember saying that. And, listen to me like Miss Know-It-All. But,
no, stop. We got to put your feelings out there.
You laughed at me. You were like, there's no way I'm going to lose my job. Like, I am good at what I do, and there's no way that's happening. So you were really mad at me for saying that.
You're right. I was. And because I expected at this point now, I think this was the second to the last time I relapsed. Is that about right? I don't think it was the last time, but I think it was pretty close. And I remember thinking, where's the compassion? Where's my sister? I need my sister to tell me, hey, it's going to be all right. Right? Right.
Yeah, and if I wasn't going through it, in my own life, I would have probably still had it. I probably still would have been like, oh, that's ridiculous, because I would have not wanted to think that it was as bad as it was for you. So, it was the second to last, because the last time I was in San Diego, remember?
I do.
The very last time.
Rub it in my face, just pound me into the dirt.
Across the bay from you. No, I was across the bay from you. And
teasing you.
And we met for pizza, and I knew that you'd been drinking, but that thing when you...
It's not funny.
Well, people will know what I'm talking about when you know they've been drinking and you smell it, you get a whiff, and you're like, oh, God.
Yeah.
But then the person's completely denying it and saying, you're crazy. I haven't been drinking.
Yeah.
You're making that up. And so but I had it. I got the whiff in the pizza place, and I knew it. I knew. And I think you knew that I knew because you wanted to get out of there fast. But
that was my new cologne, Carrie, called Viva Vodka. I don't know if you know it.
Right. Yes.
So let's get back to that phone call. So my point of view was I was looking for that compassionate hug over the phone. I was looking for that enabling that I really, really needed. I wanted it because, you know why? It would allow me to continue knowing that my sister's still on my side. And also, it told me deep down that I could probably drink again. And I could go out and fool other people again, or I can attempt to.
Yeah.
And you know what? I had it coming to me, and I'm so glad that you did. But at that point, even God himself could have came down, knocked on the door. Or, by the way, he would just walk it through the door. He doesn't need anyone to open the door. And he would say, listen, you're done with drinking. And I would have continued. So
that's what we were talking about earlier today. It's like, when does support turn into enabling? Like, where's that fine line, It's blurry. Like, how much do you support, but then how much does that support then become where you're full-on enabling somebody? And that's not good either. I
want you to remember exactly what you said, because I want to go back to us a couple seconds ago. When I did relapse for the last time, and, I had lied again, my sister and I were pretty much done. Because, and we'll get back to what you just said a second ago, Carrie, because I had lied again, and I was going down that same path. In my mind, I kept trying to go back to the booze, and I kept trying to fool people that cared about me again. And at that point, you were done.
Yeah.
You were done. You had said, the enabling switch is now being turned off.
Yeah.
So go back to what you just said a second ago, which is so brilliant. What is the fine line? And there's nothing written in the AA books. There's nothing that says, all right there, Carrie, you got a goofy brother who's 10 years younger than you. And he's, did you hear that?
Yes, I got that, yes. I'm ignoring that, yeah.
Okay, and he's screwing around again. Here are the guidelines of enabling.
No, there isn't. There aren't rules. There aren't like, okay, when this happens and this happens, then you've gone over the line and you're enabling versus supporting. But I wish I would have, for me, this is what I'd do if I went backwards in time, is not gotten so mad and like taken it so personal and been able to, focus on myself and focus on, and not be like it was a personal thing that you were doing to me, or that my ex-husband was doing to me by drinking. That's what I would do differently, and not be so angry about it.
Can I ask you a question? And I think I may have asked you this before, but
Yeah, sure.
I want to ask you now. When this was going on and the line was constant, and I was tripped up for the third time, and you've had this experience with your ex-husband, did you take it personal? You had to, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, you can't help it when this person is, when you're smelling alcohol and the person is like, you're an idiot. I was not drinking, and you know that they were, but you're like, well, maybe I am being an idiot. So there's, you can't help but take it personal. So that's what I would do differently. I would sort of try to remove myself, like not police. Like policing someone and their drinking is the worst. It's the worst. It makes you feel horrible. Like, have you been drinking? Like, you just feel like a shrew. And that's what I would try to do differently if I could do it over again.
Let's replay this, and let me ask you another question. When I was going through it, when I was going through it, did you have other people that would say to you and give you ideas or give you suggestions on how to handle things with me?
No.
Nothing from Mom?
No, Mom was very private. She wanted to keep it private between you and her. So she did not like talking about it to me, about you.
Yeah.
She felt disloyal, and she was, very loyal to her kids. Dad mentioned it sort of in an email briefly, and I got reactive to him, like, no, he's not. He's blah, blah, blah. He does not have a problem. And that's what I was still sort of defending it all. But no, I didn't. And I wasn't living in the same city with you, so if I would have seen it more firsthand, maybe I would have jumped in more. I remember, I don't know if I should say this, but I remember talking to you. You were in the middle of some park in downtown San Diego.
Oh, God, yeah.
Remember that? I don't know if you remember that. And I'm like, where are you right now? Where are you? And you're like, I'm in a park. And I'm like, where? We're in a park. And then I called you, and you were at another popular restaurant in Pacific Beach, which I won't say the name of, or am I allowed to say the name of it? But one that you would frequent often. And it was during the fires, and I called you to see if you were okay.
This is the place across the street from where I lived.
Yeah.
Once again, this was like Disneyland for me where I lived. As an alcoholic, Mission Beach is Disneyland. Almost.
Yes.
Yeah, but you could say it. Well, we won't say it. But the restaurant. So go ahead, continue. This was during all the horrendous fires. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I called you to see if you were okay. And you were on vacation from the radio station, and you put the phone down, and you're like, my sister, like you're telling the whole entire bar, my sister's calling me because she thinks my life's in danger, and you were like laughing, and that's one of the few clues that I got that there's something really wrong here. Like,
how charming! What a charming guy I was.
No, stop. But I think I don't know what to say about when support switches to.
See, right now,
being done.
Right now, you're being too polite. I want you to have. Where's your head at? My mom would always say that. My sister and I were 1 year apart. We'd have a cat fight or whatever. And this is in the 70s when it's groovy time and everything's Mod Squad. My mom would lay us down. My mom would sit us down. We got scratch marks all over our face. My mom would go, where's your head at, Carrie? Well, right now I can't stand my brother, Day. Bromo's an a-hole. Bromo, where's your head at? You know what I mean? So let's where was your head at when you heard me at this bar? You were pissed, weren't you?
Yeah.
It's okay. You were pissed.
I was pissed because why was I pissed? I don't even know why I was pissed.
I have an opinion, maybe.
Okay, good.
Maybe because so many times you had heard me say this or say that, or I'm doing better, I'm going to meetings, such and such, and I was lying through my teeth, and you had enough of it.
Yeah.
Maybe?
That's true. It was, again, the reflection of what was going on in my own life. So it accelerated because I was dealing with that in my own personal life, the lying, and then to see it with you, it just like doubled, everything just got worse. And I guess that's why I was pissed. I guess because I wanted to call you to talk to you about my own problems, and that just wasn't. No,
I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
I was tuned out, basically.
Yeah.
The line becomes so easy. It's like when the sun comes up. It's like you take it for granted, all the lies that you spew out.
And no offense, but you're a terrible liar. You're not very good at it.
Hey, I was very good at it. What are you?
You were not very good at it. As me, who's known you your entire life.
What are you talking about?
I know when you're lying.
You mean on the phone or in person too?
Just in general, you were not good at it.
Really?
It's good. It's a good thing to say. It's a good thing not to be a good liar. It really is.
Well, I didn't have a nervous twitch or anything. My eyeball didn't go around and around and around.
Nah, it's like your voice or whatever. I could just tell. I could just totally tell. But that just puts the other person, like the non-alcoholic, in this position of being like, superior or something. And it sucks doing that too. Like it sucks being the one that is pointing out that you're drinking. Like I don't know. It's the whole thing's just horrible. But
I have a memory that I've told you that will probably last with me forever about Mom. Can I tell you out real quick?
Yeah.
So it was when I was going to API to those, quote, outpatients, where I was an outpatient where I went Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I would go at night. And this is the thing I will tell people nowadays since I've learned. That allowed me to go home and stay where I lived as an alcoholic, where I drank all those days. So I would go to the outpatient class in La Mesa, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so in my beginning of going there in the first week or so, I didn't show up one day. I didn't call or anything. And so my counselor, being wise and picking up all the red flags, got scared and called Mom. Mom immediately probably tried to call me, which I immediately did not pick up the phone. So she and Al, our stepfather, drove from, how Mom is. You know how Mom is. I'm going over there right now. Let's go. And they got in the car and they drove all the way over to the condo in Mission Beach. And I didn't know anything until I heard a knock on the door and then another knock. And I went downstairs and Mom was there. And Mom goes, your counselor called me. You didn't show up. Why? And as you put it, I'm such a lousy liar as I tried to lie. She said, let's go up to your room right now. I want to see your room. And I went, uh-oh, you know why? Because I had a half full clear glass of vodka right there. And she walks up there. I just remember this as clear as yesterday. She walks up to my room, opens up the door, and goes, what is that? I go,
Were you
Mom.
terrified?
Oh, I was through the roof. And I had that split second. What do I do? And, of course, alcohol went out. I said, Mom, I've had the flu. I've been answering my phone. I've been awful. That's water, Mom. That's water. And she looked at me and she goes, I'm so sorry. I love you so much. And she hugged me.
Oh, that's brutal.
And she hugged
That's
me.
a brutal
and said,
memory.
I worry about you so much, and I love you, and I know that you're going through this, and I just want to help you get through it. And there I am looking at the vodka going, what an a-hole you are.
That is a brutal memory, David. I remember toward around that area, or that time period, when we went to Disney World, and her and Alan flew out, and the kids and I flew out and met them, and you had just gone into rehab or something, and I was like spitting mad, like blah, 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 blah. And she stopped me in the middle of a sentence. She's like, that's my son. Do not talk about him like that. I was like, oh, okay. So she didn't want to talk to me about it. She wanted to, try to deal with it on her own, like you. And that's good.
And this is where you get your guard dog attitude. This is my sister. I got to interrupt you real quick. When I was I was on my dream job, and I had to get away. I was whisked away because of, I needed to get help big time. And something was brought up on the air, and some people were asking, and my sister had heard something that she was not very fond of. And, in defense of the show, the show, and my best friend had said at that point, because he told me later he wanted to protect my...
Yep.
And I get it now, but my sister heard that, and she was pissed.
Right.
She was pissed. My sister will confront anybody
at
any time she'll walk through fire if she knows somebody is treating me wrong, and I'm the same way with my sister. So I just wanted to throw that out. Now, let's speed up a little bit. We were talking about enabling, and we have this wonderful page that I love, and it's hard for my sister to be on it sometimes. It's a group page through Facebook called There Is a Way Out. If you're not a member, please, it's open to anybody, and send me an invite. My sister has had to go through that and read all the comments of mostly positive. But underline this, right, Carrie? Enabling is pretty rampant in there, isn't it?
Well, again, I want to be careful and not judge, but I was reading that page a lot, and it actually was interesting because it brought back a lot of bad memories for me. So, which is okay, you know, it's okay because I don't want to just smother all those memories. But I did post one kind of like, not snarky, but just sort of like, hey, let's give a shout out to all the people around the alcoholic that are like, because it makes me realize like how much alcoholism doesn't just affect the person clearly, but it ruins everything around them. You know, families, and my family got ruined. My 3 kids, you know, got disrupted and lost their father. And I mean, as far as distance, lost her father, but it just ruins everything. You know, it's not just the alcoholics. I got kind of like, not pissy, but just sort of like, let's remember all the people around them, you know, that are suffering too. But that page should be for alcoholics, sharing with each other and giving each other support. But yeah, I've just noticed a couple times where it's endless. So some people have this endless supply of support, and it's impressive. It's really impressive.
I want to interrupt you real quick and get back to that comment you had made, because I don't think you know this until now. When I read that, I went on a deep spiral downhill. I drank Diet Coke after Diet Coke. I had bad hair days. My cats hated me. I'm just teasing you. You know, I read that, and you know what? At first, I was like, whoa. And then no, wait a minute, hold on. No, don't be I'm glad you did it, because then I thought about the alcoholic side. Hey, wait a minute. Because remember, it's a selfish disease. But then what she pointed out was, she said, let's give a shout out to those that have had to support the ones that have lied, cheated, stolen. And that's Carrie, Carrie, that's from a place that where's your head at? That's coming from a place where I really haven't had a whole lot of experience in.
Yeah.
If you think about it, think about this. I don't really have any. I mean, I have some friends that are really going through it, but I don't have any family members that like a husband or a brother who's really going through it. So I've got no experience in it.
It's like that. It's like a sick, hollow feeling, you know. And you see this person that you love and that you used to have a good relationship with, suddenly lying to your face, and you know that they're lying, and it's crazy. It's crazy. What is it? What's the word? Ludicrous? No, wait. There's a special. I forget the name that AA calls it. But anyways, it's just crazy. It's crazy. So you live in craziness constantly. And again, I hated being in the position of policing. That's the thing that I dread. I remember back on just. You feel like such a pissant. Like, am I allowed to say that? But you just feel like
you are. You're allowed.
Excuse me, but I smell it, you know, and you're like, ugh, I hate that. So I hated that. I hated that it made me feel that way. I hated that, you know. I hated telling you that, like superior, like you could never drink again. And that's got to be the worst if you're in the middle of drinking and someone's telling you, you know, you're never going to be able to drink again. It's probably like a dagger to your heart, right?
Yeah, you know,
at the time.
And it's impossible for you to know what the alcoholic or the addict is going through. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible for you to feel that pull, that urge that we have to. I wish I could come up with a perfect word for it. You know, it's really ironic and brutal that towards the end of your drinking career, is how you put it, it's really not fun. It's miserable. I was in my own freaking hell.
It takes away your brain. It actually, I've seen it. It takes away your personality. It takes away your everything, and it changes your brain and the way you think. And when it reaches that stage, it's just, it's tragic.
Well, like when my roommate would blast off for a week, and I would take that week off from work. I was in big time hell because I knew I couldn't get out of it. When the shakes came and they wouldn't leave until after my second pure glass of vodka, and then I had to force feed myself to eat a garbage TV dinner just to put something in my stomach. Man, I knew I was in trouble, but I couldn't. And I know you've said this before too. Where people say you couldn't stop. What did you say? You couldn't stop drinking, but you couldn't stop not drinking. What would you say was so perfect?
I don't know. I forgot. Did you have people in your life that supported you 100%? Mom, I guess. But did Mom really know what was going on? Or did she still just support you 100%?
You know how Mom is. Carrie, Mom sat out on that park bench out in downtown. Mom would come all the way out just to hug me.
Oh, okay.
I made those awful phone calls, crying. Crying. Mom, I don't know what to do, And
well, her grandfather died of alcoholism, right? Her dad's dad?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Our dad went and sat with them when he died in the hospital of alcoholism because no one else in the family, he walked out on them. Her grandfather walked out on his family, never to be seen again, and then ended up in San Diego dying of alcoholism in a hospital, and she wouldn't go see him, but Dad went and sat with him.
Well, let me give you a dad story real quick, and this is what really got me. I won't go fully into it because Carrie knows the story too, but he had come down to, he was living in Mexico, and I had said, hey, this is when I was living downtown. And this is after, I believe this is after someone had left me. Yeah. This is after I had a love of my life, a girlfriend that said, listen, well, we know that story. She gave me 3 chances, and I'll leave you, and you keep drinking, I'll leave you, and she left. Well, I had invited Dad. I said, perfect, Dad, hey, Aztec game, San Diego State Aztecs. He loves anything about Aztecs. I go, Dad, why don't you come on down? We'll go to the game, come back to my apartment. I'll get up, go to work, and you can get up, close the door, whatever, and you go back to Mexico. Well, it turns out he was tired, so we actually were going to watch it on TV. Perfect. But what he didn't know was how much I really consumed alcohol until the night he came over. Now, let me tell you what we did. Remember that little bar restaurant across the street?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let me give you a quick alcoholic scenario. We're over there having dinner and watching the game, and Dad is having his little glass of, I think he was at on the very tail end of drinking, then he was having a little tiny glass of wine, which he would nurture it for 5 years. I was 3 beers to his 1 sip. Not to mention, Carrie, walking across the street real quick to have a martini real quick where I would down in my apartment, right across the street.
Wow.
And I would do that.
Did he have a clue?
Yeah, he had a clue because remember the letter he left, the email? And by the way, I think that David is an alcoholic. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember he coined that? Which pissed me off even more.
Yeah.
What's that? What were we going to say?
Then I got in a big fight with him about that.
Yeah. Like why are you judging?
Calling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you remember when we figure out the people that have figured us out, as when we say we alcoholics or people that are addicted to whatever, when they figure out people who are on us, then it's you got to figure out what side they're on. Getting back to the enabling, are they going to enable us, or are they going to do what enabling is until you say no more? Which is now why we're going to be talking about this for a little bit. When do you say no more, in your opinion?
Yeah.
When do you say no more?
When? Okay. Gosh.
You shouldn't curse, Carrie.
I don't know. It's a really good question. Gosh. I don't know. I think after a certain number of lying, I guess, for me, it was all about lying.
Right.
And it was a certain number of lies where I just hit the limit. And then after that, it was like scorched earth. Like the support was gone. It was just like literally a big pile of scorched earth. I felt nothing, like nothing anymore.
A big pile of scorched earth.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel. And it was gone. Like, it was numb. It was gone, done.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I don't care anymore.
Good point.
Whatever.
Now you're becoming numb.
Yeah.
It's happening way too many times. And
so I don't know what that magical number is, though. I guess everyone has their threshold or limit or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of think mine seems to be like I don't have a long pile of support. Like, I kind of think that I reached it faster, which doesn't say a lot about me, because I was like, okay, you're done. Bye.
No, that says a lot about you, because you've had way too much experience, more experience than a lot of people with alcoholics, you know?
Yeah, but again, looking back, I wonder, like, could I have just stretched out that support a little bit more?
Nah, it's impossible to do that. You can't put yourself in that place.
But as it turns out, this person that I was married to is now sober. So, you know, did I do what was right and now the person is
Absolutely.
sober? Or
I've told you my opinion on that. You've done everything 100% correct.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I do.
No.
I do. There's nothing you could have done any differently, which is, by the way, the fine line of walking that fine line of enabling.
Yep.
Now, let me ask you this. When you and I were not talking for, it was a long time.
Like a year at least.
Yeah, a year. And I was over with Mitch and Co's house, and you know that story on the podcast. But when I was trying to rebound and I was going day by day being sober, and finally, when you were able to see a little daylight and see your goofy brother becoming healthy again, did you still have to have that hair that comes up on the back of your neck if maybe you give me a call someday and I sound like I'm groggy because I just woke up? I mean, it's got to come back to you.
No, weirdly, no. And that's a really good point, actually, that actually makes me kind of emotional, because I was done. I was scorched earth with you. I was like, done. I remember us spreading our mom's ashes at Lake Murray, and I barely looked at you. I was so mad at you.
Oh, I remember I showed up. That's right. Oh, my God, yeah.
Remember? We glared at each other, and I was like, That's it. I've lost my brother. I'm not talking to him ever again, blah, 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 blah. And then it's weird that it's so great that you brought that up, because I swear, I tell people that, too. Like, there was no hope for us, and now I completely trust him 100%. And I never would have thought that, ever, in a million years. So, no, I don't hear that at all. When I call you and you're groggy, I'm just like, hi. Like, it doesn't even occur to me. And that's a miracle, because I didn't think that would ever happen. So that, for anyone who thinks that they've lost their family members forever, it's not true.
Wow. That is, and I got to tell you real quick, sometimes I feel that way if somebody wakes me up and they'll say,
oh,
well, no, but my first reaction is I have to defend myself for being groggy. But now people who know me, they'll go, I just woke you up, didn't I? And I'll go, yeah, you did. But I'm up now. But back in those days, you know.
Pops in my head. It never, ever pops in my head. I never even think about it with you, ever.
Oh, okay,
so that's a miracle right there.
That is a miracle. And that's
because I never thought that we would reach that stage. Like, I wouldn't even think about it. And even with Dad dying, I was worried about you as far as what you were feeling and going through. But I wasn't worried about drinking. It didn't even occur to me.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is, actually, because I've actually had some AA friends that have actually contacted me and said, hey, I'm worried about you. You're not going to that dark place, are you? And you know what?
I know. That's what you said. And I'm glad that those friends check in with you. But I didn't even think that. I'm like, nope.
I know.
So that is resilient, you know. That's resilient. And if I scorched earth could come back from that, anyone who's thinking they can never get their family back, it just takes time, and trust. But it works. They'll come back.
I got to tell you, if you ever start a rock band, I want you to name the rock band Scorched Earth.
Scorched Earth. There probably is a rock band out there.
Scorched Earth. Hey, I got to tell you real quick, and I'm glad that you had mentioned that, and thank you for those kind words, and I believe it too. But I think one of the highlights, now getting back to me because I'm such a selfish slob, but one of the highlights for me, and I know you remember this, was my sister brought her kids, and they were little. They're not little anymore, but they were little. And she took her kids to a gritty, tough place, which now you know all about, the Freedom Ranches, which is my haven, my heaven. I love that place so much. My sister came out to the Freedom Ranch to listen to me speak with her 3 kids, and it was a cold night. I had never seen snow out there in Campo, and I believe, Carrie, we saw some snow out there, didn't we?
We did, and we were staying at a resort, and so the kids played in the pool, got sunburned, and we went from that to all the way out to the ranch where it was snowing. So it was a huge, just a different kind of thing. And I talked to the kids about it, and they were prepared, and they loved it. They loved visiting the ranch. They thought it was awesome.
What were their ages again, real quick, to tell everybody?
Henry was probably 8, so it's probably 8, 10, and 12. So not little, but I mean little. I guess it sounds little to me now, but
no, right.
Henry was 8, and they'd gone through it already. Their dad had already been in rehab. Oh, am I allowed to say that?
Oh, sure.
Anyways,
sure.
They knew a little bit about it. So going to the ranch was I don't know, it was really helpful for them, and they loved it. We brought cupcakes. Remember, they were all excited. We brought the cupcakes in.
I forgot about that part. That was just awesome. Here's the thing.
It was awesome.
That was right around my 4 years, and Carrie gave me a token, my 4-year token. Remember that?
Yep.
And she heard me
I was so
speak.
nervous. I'm like, am I supposed to talk? Do I say anything? And you're like, just go up to the front of the room. And I'm like, okay, I just wanted to say that this is my brother. And you're like, that's it. That's enough.
No. You said some more. I was thrilled that you were able to talk because I had to speak that night, and that's the first time you were in that environment in front of all those guys.
Yep, it's true. There were some pretty rough guys, but they were all completely 100% nice. They were so nice.
Yeah, that's
so nice.
That's the magic of Freedom Ranch. I tell you, and how many eyeballs did you look out and see the desperation and the people that are really going through it? You see that?
I didn't see desperation. I saw complete kindness. And, the time that I visited you before during the day, when I went and sat in that little garden and there were cats everywhere, and you came walking out of the building with a bag of cat food, and there were 12 cats in line following you. I will never forget that image.
Yeah, that was neat.
I got to go. My job is to feed the cats. Okay, I'll wait right here. And I looked over, and you were walking out, and cats were everywhere, and they followed you. It was so cute.
I was one of the very few that was allowed to touch all the cats out in Freedom Ranch. But Carrie, the desperation of the eyes of people that are sitting in the seats of Freedom Ranch is something that I always hold on to because I was at one of those seats. I was at the front row, and I didn't want to be there, and I didn't think I deserved. I didn't think I should be there. I don't think that this place is for me. And of course, Daryl, my stepbrother, said, "Yeah, this place is exactly for you." Getting back real quick, I want to finish up soon. I know you got stuff to do, and it's New Year's Eve and all that, but enabling to those who are going through it now, what would be your words of advice? Because it's something that'll hit you like a freight train.
Yeah. I don't know if I have any advice, but I guess for me, I don't even know, David. That's so hard. Oh, sorry, Bromo. I would say 10 times in a row, the line, and then that was my personal cutoff. I'm like, that's it. After that. But even then, I broke that rule. I was like, all right, maybe it'll change. I don't know. I just think you reach your own limit, and then you reach the limit. I just remember one rehab place talking to the guy, the head of the rehab place, saying, are you prepared to change the locks?
Yeah.
Are you prepared to do what you need to do? And I was completely shocked by that. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? But I guess you just know it when you know it. It's like a progression. You just go through it, and then when you're done, you're done. So I don't know if I have advice.
See, Carrie,
do you have advice?
Carrie had the double whammy because not only did she have to go through it with me, she also had to go through it with her ex-husband. That changed the lock thing was where you lived outside of Boston, right?
Yeah, here.
Yeah,
here. It was the very first time rehab experience, and the kids were really young, and I didn't know what was going on.
No.
And I remember going, to a great little place in New Hampshire that he went to, but that was really eye-opening for me. It's like, are you prepared to be tough when you have to be? And I clearly wasn't at that point. I was like, are you kidding me? I don't have to change the locks. That's ridiculous.
Well, but, and then you learn. And then you learn.
You learn. Well, I guess that's it. We're enabling. I mean, the support. I think you can come at it. I'm not an Al-Anon person. I should be probably. I've gone to a couple meetings, but I think they, love detached love, where you support from the side, and not get angry about it. That's what I would love to be able to I'd love to be able to do is not get so angry and take it personally, but love and support from the side, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's
I'm like you. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, yes, you do. That's the point that we've come to the point 39 minutes into this segment. That's the point where you. No, I'm not saying that as a joke. I'm saying that as a way of that you nailed it. That's the way you come to learn to. You go through the first stages of always wanting to be there. And then you go through the stages of being lied to continuously and being taken advantage of. And then it's like, hey, everyone else is.
Well, then it's like, go find your bottom. Clearly,
right.
You're not at your bottom. Go find it because it's not here anymore. Go.
Right.
You need to be kicked out. You need to be out on the street, I guess. You need to go. Your bottom hasn't arrived yet.
You see how, though, it is a reward of sobriety. And some people might. Somebody used to say to me years ago when I was on the porch. Remember Pathfinders? You remember that one in San Diego, right?
Yep, I do.
They used to say to me, you know what? As you do this more and more every day, day by day, the rewards of sobriety will come. And I used to think, well, when is that? Like a hot blonde's going to pull up in a convertible and give me a job and a suitcase of money and cigars? And I would say, when is that? And then I used to hear people talk. And, of course, where my head was, I didn't want to hear all that crap. I didn't think I belonged there yet again. But now that I'm a little older and wiser, the rewards of sobriety are exactly what we touched upon a couple minutes ago. Gaining back the respect of your sister, someone that's known you your whole life, someone that you lost because of your own demons. And as tough as it was for me, the alcoholic, it had to be 20 times tougher for you, the family member.
Oh, I don't know about 20 times, but it's amazing that you did it, and it is amazing that you did it. Like, I was gone and done, and you just time after time and day after day after day proved me that you were, I don't know, you did it. You turned it around.
Well,
and that's for anyone out there that thinks they can't. They can. They can. They may lose their marriage, they may lose blah, 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 but they can turn it around, and they can get respect back. It is totally possible.
Because
what do you think?
Because there is a way out, right? Right?
Yeah,
see?
Perfect ending to that. Yes, perfect. Yeah.
I'm not trying to blow my own bugle. I'm just trying to say that as bottom of the barrel as you can possibly be, you lost your job, you lost respect, you lost your girlfriend, nobody wants to be around you anymore, friends don't call, no money in your pocket, your credit, you can't even buy a pencil because you've cheated and lied so many times, you haven't paid bills, your health is just flat out horrible. You know what? All you got really is your life, and you can turn it around slowly, and it's not gonna come at you overnight.
And you have to be the person. You have to do it on your own. You have to do it on your own. Like you can't rely on other people to get you there to do it. You can't. You have to be able to do it, and you have to be able to want it on your own.
You have to. That's the thing, Carrie. You have to be able to want it, but you do need. In my opinion, you do need AA, and you do need like family members, and you do need people in the program. You do need a sponsor to help you on your way, and you do need a higher power. That's what I've been taught. But you're right. You and only you have to want it. If you don't want it, man, it's not coming.
No, and you might need someone to gently slap you around a little bit. Like,
right.
You know.
Listen, I've had you on the phone for so long. It's a very fascinating topic, enabling. You've gone through it. You've gone through it. I hope you never have to go through it again.
I'll be better at it this time. So if I do, I do, you know. But you do a wonderful thing with this podcast, and I love your raw honesty, and I know it helps people. So that's awesome.
All right. That's my sister calling from Marshfield,
Massachusetts.
And what do you got going on New Year's Eve tonight?
I make a little carne asada tacos for the kids, and that's just about it.
Little glass of wine here and there. That's good. And see, here's another thing. Real quick, listen. You can tell people you have a glass of wine because you're not an alcoholic. I know that because I know I'm around you and all that stuff. I know you're not. So listen, it's okay. It's legal, you know. And it's,
well, I'm not right now. But,
well, not right now, but I'm talking about later on tonight. But what are you making again?
Carne asada.
That sounds so
Right?
good. Right.
Pico de gallo and avocado.
Wow.
So,
Listen,
yep, that's it.
thank you, Carrie. I know that she didn't really want to go on at first, but I knew that having her on talking about enabling was huge. For anybody out there that is listening to this, maybe giving it a first try, and maybe yourself is wondering, I think I may have a problem with addiction or drinking, and I have no clue. For anyone who's got family members and you think maybe they are going through it, if they want to give this podcast to listen to, there is a way out.
It's time for another season of The Palmetto Porch, an original podcast from Discover South Carolina. I'm Devin Whitmire. Join me as I get to the heart of what makes South Carolina such a great place to visit by speaking to the locals who make it so special. Premiering December 5th, find The Palmetto Porch wherever you get your podcasts. And for more information about our show, visit scpalmettoporch.com.